First, this is my claim. Diversity of parts is not the same as diversity of persons. Okay? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Welcome, guys. Today we are going to talk about the idea. I've seen Christian Apologists like David Wood and this guy, Dr. James White. These guys, they have actually tried to study the Islamic religion, maybe to refute it, no problem. And then they make some claims. This is what they've gathered up, and now they're making claims now, okay? So the idea that, see, if Allah has many attributes and somehow Allah is still one, then why are you guys against the doctrine of the Trinity? Why are you saying the doctrine? Because we are saying many in one sense and one in another sense. You guys also have this idea of many in one sense and one in another sense. So why are you guys making this argument against us, the Trinitarians? And I'm just going to expose why this argument is weak, okay? It doesn't work, okay? Now, first, this is my claim. Diversity of parts is not the same as diversity of persons, okay? That's the first claim. And I'm going to build my argument around this. So what are they saying really? They are telling us that, see, Allah has different attributes, and we affirm it. Most Muslims, we affirm that Allah has many attributes, like Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mulk, Al-Quddus, Al-Salam, Al-Mu'min, Al-Hayy, Al-Qayyum, many attributes like this. The merciful, the most merciful, and the kind, the giver of life, the one that takes life. All of these attributes we give to Allah, and we affirm it, okay? Now, and even some other attributes like Allah's word, okay? For example, Allah's word. So they take this word and like, see, Allah has his word, and there's Allah, and then there's his word, and all of that. They are making their claims, okay? First thing I would like to point out on this is that this is not a charitable reading of the Muslims. You see, whatever you think about the Muslims or what they should be saying is not what you should use to judge the Muslims. You should judge the Muslims on what they're actually saying. Do they believe God is composed of parts? Definitely not. We don't believe this. Do they believe that in any of this that you're claiming? No, they don't. When I'm talking about the Trinity, I'm using what you guys actually say, what you actually believe in to judge you. Okay? Now, leave that aside. Now let's go to the main part of this video. Remember, when we tell the Christians, when we talk about the Trinity, the only thing, why are we talking about the Trinity? We are talking about the Trinity because of the possibility, at least, of three gods there, which is polytheistic, which is away from the path of Abraham. Okay, we Abrahamic faith, we are recognized as or special for this reason. We are unique because we believe in one God in that very sense of the word. Absolutely one true God. Okay. Now you guys have three persons and one being. Okay. Now the persons, we have problem. How can you have three individuals and then yet you are saying they are one? Three fully divine individuals, and yet there's only one God. That is the problem we have with you, polytheism. Okay. Now, when you're talking about the different attributes or different parts or all these things, it's not about monotheism. Okay, that's another. They are in different category. Okay, the person's objection is different from the parts or attributes objection. Okay, now, if we are talking about different attributes, this same problem still applies to the persons of whether you believe they are all the three persons. This same problem still applies to them, unless you have like some kind of divine simplicity doctrine or something like this, which most of the church actually affirm this, but it doesn't solve the problem anyway. The point I'm making is this: this is a problem. We can still ask them, do they have different attributes or not? If you say they don't, maybe you believe in divine simplicity. If you say they do, then you have the same problem. Then what are you talking about? If this will be problematic in the sense that we're using it, then you still have the same problem. Now, leave that aside. Let's now grant the argument that, for the sake of argument, let's grant that you're saying that a concept of God, let's use a concept of God that is claiming to be monotheistic. However, this concept of God, the God in that doctrine, they are composed of parts, okay? They are composed of parts. Would that make it polytheistic or not? different attributes, different distance, whatever. Would that make it polytheistic? Definitely not. Just because something is composed of parts, it doesn't mean it's polytheistic. Maybe it will mean like it doesn't exist, or it's impossible, or it's contradictory, because God is supposed to be independent and all of that. Maybe that will be the argument we'll be making there. It won't be about, do you have 3 gods or not? Okay? Or do you have, let's say you have many attributes, like 1 million attributes. Does that mean you have 1 million gods? No. The attributes are just qualities of that particular idea of God. It doesn't mean that there's more than one. All those attributes, they are not separate. They are not something different. They are just qualities. And many other things like of that particular idea of God. Now, when we are talking about different or diversity of persons, we are talking about many gods. Okay? Many gods. Whether they're united or not, it doesn't matter. If you have 2 persons in your idea of God, 2 individuals, you have 2 gods right there. If you have 3, 4, 5, as many as you want, that is what we call polytheism, at least in the very general sense. Once you start having more than one God, you start becoming polytheistic. And there's other things to it. But that is the main objection we are asking you. We are not asking you, can something be many in one sense and one in another sense? I've already told you guys, there's something called functional oneness. Functional oneness is normal. Something can be different in one sense and one in another sense. This is so clear, okay? So I just want you to expose that. So when you see David Wood making this argument, just remember this. There's a difference between diversity of parts and diversity of persons. Whether your concept of God has diversity of parts, it will just be like partialism, okay? There's something called partialism, okay? Where that particular God is composed of parts. Then you can start asking questions, is that God really independent and all of that? But it will not be a polytheistic objection. It will be another thing entirely. So I think if they want to really get out of this problem of tritheism objection, they cannot make this argument on the Muslims. They are the ones that need to explain what they mean by 3 persons and 1 being, not us. We didn't make this claim. Why are you pushing it to us? We don't believe in this. We believe in one God, and you know that. Pure monotheism. You are the one talking about 3 persons. You need to start explaining what you mean. And we already know what you mean anyway. Still 3 gods. So now you're pushing it to the Muslims. This is a cop-out, okay? So I just want to expose that, guys. So when you hear this kind of arguments, remember, focus on the main issue. What is the issue we are talking about? We are talking about the idea of monotheism, not about partialism, okay? So remember that. So I just wanted to show that, guys. So wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.